So in today's video, I'm going to do the total opposite for what everyone else is doing at the minute in terms of content. I'm going to give you 5 very simple tips to manage your emotions during this phase of the cycle. 5 simple tips, but I think it's getting a bit crazy, and I think people are going to go a little bit silly and probably do something a bit daft. So we'll try not to do that. So if you're new, please do hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you are looking to do in this cycle. Please let me know. On the screen, a very simple chart which is about meme coins. I know we're going to start off with meme coins. It's not really a tip, but I'm going to just go about market share. You've got the Bitcoin ecosystem, you've got the Ethereum ecosystem, you've got the Solana ecosystem, right? Obviously you can see where the potential risk reward is. Guys, if you are looking at meme coins, please do not over risk. Understand that they will go up a lot, but don't over risk. And this is what we're going to start off with, risk management a little bit, and it's going to all be kind of a derivative of that. Everything that I'm talking about is all about risk management, let's be honest here, right? Because I did a tweet not too long ago regarding how I've been pretty successful by not blowing myself up potentially, and a lot of people have boom and bust cycles. The reality is here, yes, you can get overawed by runes, or you can go into the Solana kind of world and go, I'm going to make loads of money. But actually, sometimes when you look at that in that sort of mindset, you might have maybe lost out on a lot of gains by just being a bit silly. Some people have held on to meme coins and done fantastic. Some people have fumbled their bag very, very early. But understand that one thing and one thing only. Risk management is key, hype is key, and so is communities in this market. So let's get into the first part of it, right? When we talk about a proper tip, like a real big tip, ignore the noise, right? This is a scam channel, by the way, if you're wondering. It happens every cycle, right? So that's giving you an idea. But I want you to understand that a lot of people on YouTube, and I can fully say this myself, and I've seen my own email inbox, a lot of people that are like promoting stuff do it on the sly. And a lot of what has been said is very much to get you in. A lot of this in terms of thumbnails and stuff, and this is how YouTube works, right? The content is secondary, the thumbnail and the title is absolutely king. Everyone is now talking about altcoins. Ignore the noise as much as you can, because actually on tip number 2, we might actually reject because the dominance of the market is not quite where we need it to be yet, right? If you want to jump in and try and get a bottom, crack on. But it's not really worth the heartache if you get it wrong, because you might well be a false dawn. It might well still be Bitcoin season. So, tip number 1, as much as you try and do this, and can, if you can, is ignore the noise. What people are saying could be bollocks, right? Literally. There is a lot of hopium right now. And that is kind of good, but you've also got to manage your own expectations. You've got to also manage your own portfolio, right? People forget that completely, right? I've been talking a lot about this road to 83k, where the hype's going to come in, where everything's going to start getting very interesting, but there's certain trigger points why that's going to happen, but also when to act. And we're going to talk about when to act in a second. Now, to the eagle-eyed viewers and subscribers, as I say, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Honestly, a lot of people know that I talk about this chart. This is a total 3/BTC. This is basically the entire market, pretty much, the 125 coins without Bitcoin, without Ethereum, in the BTC pair. This is giving us an idea of what's going to happen, right? This is still in a downtrend. This is still telling us it's not really time for altcoins yet. Some have popped off, not the whole market. We want the whole tide to rise, right? Now, when I go a bit further out and we look at the past, this is kind of the whole downtrend. I've said openly in videos that for you to make money, you shouldn't have been in altcoins for a long, long time, basically, right? Now, in the past, we've had this horrible downtrend where basically we've had a rejection. That big, massive rejection. And what that rejection has kind of given us is an altcoin capitulation. I don't think we've had that yet. At the minute, we will get a bit of a rise. Now, when we then talk about this tip, which is keep an eye on dominance, if you've probably not noticed, you need to understand that also in the past, right, as this has risen, we've also had a big, massive push to the upside. We need to be mindful of that, because what this could mean is Bitcoin runs hard, runs like proper breakout into like 83 plus up to $100,000, and most of the altcoins have not properly followed it. that would indicate that some of your altcoin positions will be in a bit of red. They may look good in USD, but in Bitcoin, you've probably lost out a lot. And I've done lots of videos about how to manage that, so try not to get too overawed by it. But you might find that sometimes it's better to wait before you jump in, because you might actually make a lot more Bitcoin, which would also compound your wealth. Many people forget that. And what if we get a rejection? What if, right, this rejects and we right, give you a hypothetical thing here. Let's look at both scenarios. What if we go up to here and we reject and we go down into this red box? Your altcoins will be cheaper, technically, in terms of BTC value. It might be worth more with USD because Bitcoin's gone higher, but that's not worth it. That doesn't give a shit. It doesn't matter. But what we're waiting for, let's be honest here, is a change of character in this price. We are waiting for this to start having an uptrend. Then it gets it safer. I mentioned before in one of my posts not too long ago, it's all about the innards. It's all about the gooey bit. So when you think about a cake, the inside is always the nicest. That is the run. When it properly confirms and hype is here and retail are here and they're rising that tide, it's easy mode, technically, right? Getting into easy mode is the hard part, and that's where you need to keep an eye on these dominances. So what I'm doing, I'm waiting to see when we start to really trend up. When we start trending up, it does. It will be 4, 5, 6 months of absolute stupidness because people just keep buying things. It's just the way it is. But there's always 2 years of nothingness before it, right? That's where it gets a bit scary. So yeah, keep an eye on the dominances. Wait for a change of character on these charts and then go from there. The third tip, kind of an obvious one, have a plan. If you've not already got a plan, I don't know what you're doing. If you're an investor, you should always plan what you're doing. You should always do your research. Plan what you're going to be doing. Plan your entry. Plan your exit. What are you going to do? So with Bitcoin, for example, I have got up here, big fuck off box. That, funny enough, spoiler alert, is my plan for Bitcoin. I think we're going to get there. My conviction will tell me otherwise. Maybe, I don't know, what we do into that box. It's probably a different story. But my plan is to hopefully, fingers crossed, take a little bit off the table around these levels because I've been in for so long, it's ridiculous, right? Altcoins as well. On my Patreon, I talk about exit plans. Feel free to jump in, low cost. If you want to get videos only, it's a $5. It's nothing crazy. If you want to understand that exit plans and entry plans, I do a video on that in terms of how to do it. The reality is here, many people don't do it. And all of a sudden it's, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Oh, but it's going to keep going up forever sort of vibe. Then you don't take profit. If you're starting to round trip your bags, you got a problem. Everyone round trips, myself included, right? You've got to get to a point where you want to take profit. So for example, with me at the start of this year, Near Protocol did fantastic in the BTC pair. I scaled out about 30% of my position around these sort of levels from buying at the lows. I was very happy with that gain in BTC. Very, very happy. Still holding it. But I'm glad I did it because obviously it went down so much and it still is quite low in terms of value. When you look at that on reflection in the USD pairs, it looks pretty good, right? But again, as I said, a very, very deep, horrible, ugly correction, and it could spike you out of the market. It's just the way it is. Have a plan. Keep it simple. Look at round numbers. Look at obvious levels to take profit. Look at the BTC pair, more to the point. But every single holding, you should have some sort of element of a plan where you should be taking some money off the table because you are an investor. You should be here to make money. The crypto market, unfortunately, 99% of altcoins are below the BTC price in the BTC pair. Pretty much most things. We're going to get a time period where it will outperform it. Don't get me wrong. But you've got to capitalize on those situations. If you don't, well, you're going to be a bag holder for life. And that becomes a bit of a problem. The obvious tip, number 4, is follow the hype. What is hyped up? What can you do? So in terms of this metric here on Glassnode, this is kind of the market performance of Bitcoin from the low. We're getting into that phase of hypeness, right? So when we look at any chart, right, one thing you can do, now you don't have to do this, anything is possible in any market, right? When we look at the obvious of, say, BNB, we're going to probably see some hype here because people are going to be listing things and going for it and going a bit crazy. Trick is follow where the crowd are going, right? So you might have meme coins, you might have whatever, all right? Sui is a great example as well. This has been doing fantastic over the last couple of months. And even though I did a video saying, is this the next bubble? It's been a good asset, but people were aping on this tops. Follow the hype, but ultimately understand where your entries and exits are, right? It did a huge correction from the video. It was pretty, imagine that. I'm going to buy the top. No, I'm going to get rattled out. 32% correction. That's quite normal. They do happen in the bull market. But what you're looking for is simple tools and analytical kind of metrics that will give you an idea of where the hype is. If you're looking on, say, the 3-day time frame or the weekly time frame, and give you an obvious one, put 2 EMAs on your chart. 21 and 8 is a really good one. Fast and a slow moving average. Pretty simple. It will tell you if the market is in an uptrend or a downtrend, or if you're looking at other trend metrics, right? Every single altcoin you're looking at, and even Dogecoin, right? Look at that. Crazy move. That's unbelievable. Follow the hype. If you are in an asset and you know it's an obvious asset, right? And obviously don't buy the tops, right? It kind of goes without saying. But if you start seeing things that are above the moving averages, right? If the volume's coming in, if people are talking about it, why aren't you following it, right? Simple as that. Like, a lot of things that I buy are basically hype plays. Literally, let's be honest here, right? Because they've got a narrative. If they have a narrative, follow that hype, because they will do well. Dogecoin for me was a very, very simple buy. If you're looking at a structure breakout from a change of character, any change of character, this is why there's lines here as well. You know, any change of character in the market, it's important. When you start looking at why bull markets do well, but look at history. What does history tell you? Well, meme coins and easy to access things do well because people buy them. Even Ethereum is looking pretty exciting right now because it's changed character. It's broken above this structure. If it goes for a retest of this level here, it might be a really simple buy because we're above everything and everything's looking hunky-dory and people are looking at Ethereum. You need to start following the hype. That doesn't mean buy tops. It just means look what is trending up. Look what's getting interest. And if it is, go for it. And the final tip, it's an obvious one, right? Take profit. People hate it. People, honestly, I could do a video about take profit and people hate it. Even Polkadot's looking quite good right now. It's changed character. It's potentially broken out with its USD downtrend. However, reserve your caution because it's still, this is when I've been selling, by the way, it's still below on the EMA, on the EMAs and obviously on the BTC pair. But when we talk about take profit, you don't have to take everything out. You just have to de-risk a little bit and become risk-free. For example, right, to give you an idea, mentioned it before with my NEAR protocol, right? I was buying low and I took some nice profits. I moved it into Bitcoin. I'm very, very happy with that position. This is kind of potentially where we could be going for the next leg, where we got, you know, this overall. Actually, let's just refresh this. Let's just start this again, because when we're looking at this entire move, right, from the low to the high, we've went all the way down to 618 and we could be going up to like these levels up here. I'll be taking profit up here. Put it that way, right? Because my average order's down here. I've taken profits up here. I haven't reinvested down here, but I could have, but I didn't want to. I bought other things, right? But I've still got a decent sized bag, which will be very, very nice in the future. But I could have easily bought low, sold high, and then rebought back on this correction. Every single altcoin has had, well, I was going to say every single, most good altcoins have had a big, massive flurry at the start of the year. They tailed off in April time, and they've done a really big, neat correction. Many people, if you took profit, you could have bought more. Which people do. And I've been buying more of other stuff myself. I've been buying runes. I've been buying stacks, for example. I've even got Solana now in my portfolio, which is really, really nice to have because it was risk-free and I was able to put profit into that from a meme coin. Now, with that in mind, you could be looking at potential take profit targets, right? Where can you go for it? Well, the only thing you can do on a lot of these, and this is a really interesting tip, and feel free to pin your ears back, go from the low to the high of the previous cycle and look at where things can go. In terms of extension levels, we've got these up here. My Solana bag, I'll be looking to take profit mainly at all-time high, 10% potentially, and then we're looking at this level, and then we're looking at these levels, right? Because it's blue sky breakout, we don't know where it's going to go. The reality is, if the crowd keeps going and we keep rising with it, well, it's going to get interesting, right? Take something off the table, and that goes around that whole circle of an umbrella, which is risk management. Ignore the noise. Keep an eye on dominance so you understand when to be in and when not to be in. Create a plan. Have a plan. Whether that is scaling in, percentage risk, what sort of assets you're going to buy, or where your TP plans are. Again, when we're looking at the obvious, follow the hype. The hype could be there, the narrative could be there, very, very simple. And pulling that trigger on taking profit. Have it all planned out, because if you don't, you will be literally watching it go up and up and up and hoping it goes up forever and ever and ever. Doesn't mean sell all, just means take a little bit off, reward yourself, put it into stables, put it into Bitcoin, whatever the hell you want to do, I don't care. But hey, you are in control. No one else. If you're blaming other people for your mistakes, that's down to you.